Get ready for a quick comparison of two of the most beautiful holiday destinations in Gran Canaria, Meloneras and Puerto de Mogán, to end up with a winner and a loser. Meloneras has two main beach options. On one side you have Playa de las Meloneras, which is a smaller beach with a mix of sand, rock and pebbles. It can be nice if you are staying nearby or if you want a beach close to restaurants and sunset views. On the other side, near the lighthouse, you have Maspalomas Beach. This is much bigger, much more famous and backed by dunes. So Meloneras can work very well for a beach holiday, but the center of the resort is more about a promenade and a rocky coastline than a classic beach directly in front of your hotel. Puerto de Mogán has a beach that is smaller, sheltered, sandy and very easy to use because it is protected by breakwaters. The water is usually calm, which makes it good for families with younger children and people who like relaxed swimming. The beach is not huge and in busy periods it can feel crowded, but the setting is very attractive. You have the marina, restaurants, promenade and pretty resort center all close by. But simply because the beaches in Meloneras are bigger and there is more choice and more space, I will have to give this one to Meloneras. Meloneras has very good restaurants, especially if you want stylish evening meals, sea views, sunset drinks and a more premium setting. The restaurants here generally feel more polished than in many of the busier tourist resorts. It is a very good choice if you like a more refined evening and want your dinner to feel like part of the holiday experience. Especially near the promenade and the lighthouse, you will find many of these more relaxed and elegant restaurants. Puerto de Mogán is also excellent for restaurants, but the feeling is different. It is smaller, cozier and more romantic. You can eat around the marina, near the beach or in the pretty streets with white buildings and flowers. Meloneras wins for polished dining, but Puerto de Mogán wins for charm and romance because restaurants are such a big part of the Puerto de Mogán experience. I need to give this point to Puerto de Mogán. Evenings in Meloneras are calm, stylish and very easy to enjoy. You can walk along the promenade, watch the sunset, have dinner, go for drinks, look around the shops or simply enjoy the sea views. It is not loud or chaotic, but it still feels active enough in the evening. This is one of the main reasons people choose Meloneras. It gives you that relaxed holiday evening without feeling too sleepy, especially if you are staying near the promenade or the lighthouse area. Puerto de Mogán is very similar in the evening, but has more of that typical Spanish authenticity mixed in. This gives this area a more authentic evening feel, something that many people actually prefer. For this simple reason, I would have to give it to Puerto de Mogán. Neither Meloneras or Puerto de Mogán are real nightlife destinations. If you want loud bars, clubs, karaoke and a more active night out, then Playa del Inglés or Puerto Rico will normally be better choices for you. Meloneras does still have places for cocktails, hotel entertainment, terraces, bars and late night evening drinks, but it is not a party resort. But you can still have a very nice night out in a calm and stylish way, and if you want more, then Playa del Inglés is also not far away. Puerto de Mogán is also a quiet destination. There are places to have drinks and some bars can feel lively, but the main mood is relaxed, romantic and early night rather than late night. It is much more about dinner and the atmosphere than nightlife. So both of these are pretty similar, but Meloneras has a slight edge also because it has Playa del Inglés with real nightlife nearby. So for this reason I will have to give this point to Meloneras. Atmosphere is one of the hardest categories because both places have a very strong identity. So please let me know down in the comments if I get this one right or wrong in your opinion. Meloneras feels modern, clean, polished and luxurious. It has big hotels, lovely promenade, the lighthouse sea views and the dunes nearby. It feels like one of the more premium parts of Gran Canaria. Puerto de Mogán feels different. It is smaller, prettier and more charming, also more authentically Spanish. You have the marina, the beach, the harbor, the white buildings, the flowers and the little streets that give it a much more postcard style atmosphere. For me, when it comes to atmosphere, I will have to give this one to Puerto de Mogán simply because it feels more authentic and real. Airport transfers are easy for Meloneras. It is close to the Gran Canaria airport and part of the main Maspalomas holiday area, so taxis, shuttle buses, package transfers and public transport are all straightforward. Puerto de Mogán is one of the furthest southern holiday resorts from the airport. It is still not difficult to reach, but the journey is longer and usually more expensive. If you arrive late, travel with children or simply want the quickest arrival, Meloneras simply is the easier option. So for airport transfers, Meloneras clearly wins. If you want lots to see and do, Meloneras has a very strong location. You are close to Maspalomas, golf, shopping, spas, Aqualand, Palmitos Park, Holiday World, Playa del Inglés and many excursions. This makes it very practical even though the resort itself feels calm. It is a good choice if you want a relaxed holiday destination but still want easy access to some of the island's biggest attractions. You can have a quiet hotel holiday but still be close to lots of things if you want them. Puerto de Mogán also has things to see and do. You can enjoy boat trips, water sports, dolphin and whale watching, the submarine excursion, snorkeling, the viewpoint, the marina and nearby hiking trails. But for a full week with more variety nearby, Meloneras has the advantage. So things to see and do, the point goes to Meloneras. Meloneras is very strong when it comes to accommodation. This is one of the best areas in Gran Canaria for luxury hotels, large resorts, all-inclusive holidays, family hotels and high-quality stays. If the hotel is an important part of your holiday, Meloneras is a great choice. Puerto de Mogán has good accommodation options, but there is not a huge amount of it. That is part of the charm because the resort still feels smaller and less overbuilt than many other places in Gran Canaria. But the fewer hotels also means there is fewer choice and prices can be high during busy periods. If you want a specific type of hotel, room, board basis or budget, you may have less flexibility in Puerto de Mogán. So for this reason, I will have to give this point to Meloneras. Before I continue, remember that this score is a general score. The best resort, hotel or holiday destination on the island depends on who you are traveling with and what kind of holiday you want. So if you want help choosing the right place in Gran Canaria and avoiding the wrong area or hotel, go to checkedholidays.com/perfect. You will get my personal advice and after that you can still book with whoever you want. Budget and value for money can be tricky because neither of these is really the best budget holiday destination in Gran Canaria. Meloneras is a premium resort and Puerto de Mogán is small, attractive and very popular, especially with couples. Meloneras generally has bigger and more expensive hotels and the whole resort feels more luxury focused. You can find deals sometimes, especially outside the busiest periods, but it would not be my first choice for a cheap holiday. Puerto de Mogán is not always cheap either, but it can feel like better value if you want charm, atmosphere, a pretty setting and a smaller resort experience. You do not need a luxury hotel to enjoy the marina, beach, restaurants and village-style atmosphere. So for budget and value for money, I would have to give this one to Puerto de Mogán. Meloneras is easy to enjoy. The hotels are excellent, the resort feels polished, the airport transfers are shorter and you are close to many of the island's main attractions and other resorts. Puerto de Mogán is easy because it is small. You can understand the resort very quickly. The beach, marina, restaurant, shops and promenade are all close together, which makes it a very simple place to relax. But it also has some limitations. There are fewer hotels, fewer large attractions nearby, and the airport transfer is longer. If you want lots of variety during a full week, it might start to feel a little limited. For a romantic short break, Puerto de Mogán might feel easier, but for a full holiday with fewer practical compromises, Meloneras is easier overall. 1 point going to Meloneras. For all there is to know about this winning holiday destination, click the video on your screen right now. Or go to checkedholidays.com/perfect to get my personalized holiday advice for your perfect holiday in Gran Canaria.